Thank you, Senator. Senator Brasso.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairman. Welcome, Administrator Jackson. In an article today in Politico entitled, "Does Industry Cry Wolf?" on regs, you are quoted as saying, today's forecasts of economic doom are nearly identical, almost word for word, to the doomsday predictions of the last 40 years. And there's a picture of you today in Politico. It goes on, you're quoted as saying, "This broken record continues despite the fact that history has proven the doomsayers wrong again and again." So I just want to explore that statement, Administrator Jackson. 40 years ago, and you talk about 40 years ago, the same scientists that are predicting the end of the world now from global warming were predicting the end of the world from global cooling. I have with me a number of articles that I collected when I was in college. Newsweek magazine, The Cooling World. New York Times, a major cooling widely considered to be inevitable. One from Time magazine, another ice age. So if we had committed the same amount of taxpayer resources and government manpower that the administration now wants us to commit to prevent global warming, and we'd done that to prevent global cooling, we would not be the most prosperous nation on earth. Advances in science and healthcare, diseases cured, children's lives saved would not be the reality that we have had over those years. Millions of jobs would have needlessly been lost. The fact is that the same doomsday predictions from 40 years ago is all we are getting from this agency and this administration today. Only now the problem of the administration claims is man-made global warming, not natural global warming, not mostly natural global warming. We're not quite sure to what extent it is man-made. Nope, it's all man's fault. The administration believes that the greatest environmental threat faced by man is ourselves, our past economic progress, and this administration intends to issue the greatest pile of regulations in the history of the environmental protection and agency and perhaps the United States to combat that threat. So.
Yeah. Yes, go ahead.
I just want to offer something into the record.
Sure.
The statement was made here that there was this great consensus in 1970 about global cooling. There's an article from 2008, USA Today, reviewed all the literature. The supposed global cooling consensus among scientists in the 1970s is a myth, and I'd just offer that for
Would
the
you
record.
put that in the record then?
Yes,
okay.
I will.
Yeah, and I say, and Senator Johann
came up by the senator, I can't remember who it was, as to whether or not they were talking about was there really a threat of an ice age at one time. I'd like to read you from Dr. John P. Holdren, who is assistant to the President for Science and Technology and Director of the White House Office on Science and Technology and co-chair of the President's Council of Advisors. What he had written was, below is a direct scan from his pages 76 and 77 of his book. He said the effect of the new ice age on agriculture and the supportability of large human populations scarcely need elaboration here. Even more dramatic results are possible. However, for instance, a sudden outward slumping in the Arctic ice cap induced by added weight, this is another ice age coming, could generate a tidal wave of proportions unprecedented in recorded history. So, you know, you have even the President's people who are agreed with me, Madam Chairman.
Oh, yes. And I think that this article that Senator Udall put in, it acknowledges that there were scientists who did call for the ice age, but that most of them did not. So why don't we just let people read this for themselves and decide. I would ask if you would amend your